How about now?
Hey, you did something.
Well, so Twitch failed YouTube because they're on the same pathway.
Ah,
Or my Restream account needs some attention because I haven't touched that since I started it because it's just been working.
yeah,
But we may be live now. I believe we're live.
you are.
Hey, we're live, guys. So I'm going to give this spiel again. As you can see, we are a couple days late and about a half hour early. That's because we are late because of the weather. And then we're early today because I don't want to run out of sunlight. As you can see, still a front yard blacksmith here, but soon I just may have my shed in the backyard because I just got my permit today so I can get said shed. And then the light won't be an issue because we'll be in a building with lights. So we already got the lights, so it should be pretty easy to get that cooking. It's going to be a shorter stream because we're running out of daylight. So we're just going to finish our bottle openers from last week. Just got a little bit of shaping to do on the ring part, and then we need to put in the little cap nub and then give it some kind of handle. And then high fives, bottle opener. Hooray. Um, so yeah. Heck, have I shown the brass patina trick on the stream?
I think so. You did that for some of the penny scrolls,
The lantern hooks, we did that. I was just thinking maybe when I throw the handle on this thing, I'll hit it with the brass patina to jazz it up a little bit. So we'll just have to see. Tonight's smoke is a fresh, just straight out of the box. Just got these. This is a Mark Twain Riverboat, one of my favorites. Incredibly flavorful, delicious smoke. That's trying to die on me because I was just sorting out our stream issues. So, fortunately, being a blacksmith, there's always something hot nearby. Don't try this at home, kids. So what we're going to do here is, you can see our hole is a little bit lopsided. Is it better without? There you go. A little bit lopsided, but we still got a high point up there, so we're going to correct that high point and make it a little bit more even. And then we'll try and work up that hole in the center and make it a little bit more symmetrical. And I think with this one, we're going to squash it. Usually I leave them proud and like perfectly round, but I think we're going to squish this one a little bit so it's more like a shovel handle kind of shape, I guess. Not doing great with words, so you'll have to bear with me tonight. I was reminded today that it's November. And I'm mostly curious as to when did that happen? Like, I feel like just a couple of weeks ago we were like fishing out on the sailboat, and now it's November and getting cold. It's going by too quick. But yeah, hooray for November, I guess. If you're in the States, I hope you went out and voted. I don't care who you voted for, I just hope you went out and did it. All right, let's do some metal shaping stuff. So we're just going to come over to the horn and just work these down and not throw our cigar on the ground in the process. Work down this top a little bit. Ow, found the hole in my glove. Yeah, that's showing up on the camera nicely, I think. There we go. So I'm a little lopsided, so I think we'll push that over a little bit. I think we're just going to hit it like that and try and get that to settle out a little bit. So we'll get that warm again. Oop, there we go. So yeah, a couple days late because it was awfully rainy Monday, and I just didn't want to have the cameras and stuff out in the rain. Yesterday, met up with some friends at my favorite cigar lounge, Nicky Blaine's downtown. Had a wonderful time. I should have been thinking about stuff to talk about. I'm drawing a blank over here today. Had some pretty nifty things play out today that I can't talk about just yet, but it's kind of exciting. I hope that goes somewhere, which, yay for vague announcements that mean nothing. But hopefully in like a week, I'll be able to be like, hey, so that thing I said, pretty awesome. How you doing, neighbor? All right, just look at me. That's cool too.
Did you watch V for Vendetta on the 5th?
I should have, but I did not. The question, if you couldn't hear him, was did I watch V for Vendetta yesterday on November the 5th? I did not watch V for Vendetta, nor did I read it yesterday. Probably should. I haven't watched that movie in forever. What's pretty cool about that movie is they started shooting it with some actor. I can't remember his name. And things weren't working out right. So then they swapped out that actor for Hugo Weaving. And he stepped into the role, but some of the shots of V are still that other actor. You can't really tell. Like he's wearing a mask the whole time, so it ultimately doesn't matter.
Right.
But yeah, they just had Hugo Weaving redub the other lines, so it'd be consistent throughout.
I never knew that.
I love me some Hugo Weaving. He's awesome. He was, of course, in Cloud Atlas as several different characters, and also, more notably, Agent Smith from The Matrix. Yeah, look at that. Oh, dang. I wish I would have had on the right camera because that worked out exactly like I wanted that to. So, yeah, we got that recentered a little bit. So, what I did was I went over the horn and I hammered back here. And it stretched it out and it got things a little bit more in line there. I'm going to do it over here too to make it symmetrical. I'm liking the way that's looking. I don't know. Like, do we have anybody in the chat at the moment? No? Do we have anybody watching at the moment? Just us. Well, I was going to put it up to the vote on the chat as to whether or not we leave that symmetrical circle ish, or if we squish it down and make it more of a traditional bottle opener shape. So, I'll leave it to you guys. Do we squish it down so it's more like the shape of like a hanger, if you know what I mean? Or do we leave it circular? What are we doing?
Keep it like the barkeep's friend.
Yeah, it goes circular.
Circular. Cool. We'll do circular, which means I'm going to do one more heat because heats are free here and just clean that up just a little bit. I'm almost happy with it. And then we'll start working right on the nub that makes stuff happen. And that'll be super. You know, I read V for Vendetta before I saw it. I really enjoyed that book. It was a good book. And they certainly cut a lot of that book out.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie would have been like 3 hours long if they didn't. So I get it. I just wish we would have got a better treatment of the creation of V, if you will, than what we got in the movie. I would have liked a little bit more backstory.
You know, this might be a little bit blasphemous coming from me, but I have not read the V for Vendetta book.
Huh. I'm a little surprised by that. No judgment, but I'm a little surprised by that.
It's on my to be read list. It's just there's a lot on that list.
Hell, I got a copy upstairs. Have you read the Watchmen yet?
Nope, and I haven't seen The Watchmen either.
I'll give you this challenge. read it, and then watch the movie and tell me which ending makes more sense.
Alright.
But yeah, V for Vendetta, it was a great movie. I went and saw that in the theater like 2 or 3 times. The last time I saw it in the movie theater was in the movie theater that used to be at 38th and Lafayette. It used to be a Cubs like grocery store, and then the grocery store sold off most of the building, and the other side of the building became a movie theater. And I actually did I did a bunch of the HVAC work, turning it into a movie theater. And but anyways, I digress. Went to the movie theater to see that, and it had been in the theaters for a few weeks, so the crowd was much lower. And there was a gentleman sitting right in front of me and my friends that he kept falling asleep and snoring himself awake. And when he would snore himself awake, he'd look around and he'd start giggling and chuckling to himself. And then go back to watching the movie, and 2 minutes later, snore himself awake, and he'd wake up and start giggling again. And then he falls asleep. His phone starts ringing, not vibrating, ringing. And he pulls his phone out of his pocket, and he answers it. He's like, "No, man, I'm not doing anything. I just keep falling asleep in this movie theater." "Oh, I'm watching V for Vendetta." "Yeah, it's pretty good, but I'm just keep falling asleep." And we're like, "Will you shut up?" So he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll call you up when the movie's over." "Okay, bye." And he hung up, put it in his pocket, and 2 minutes later was snoring again. It's like, why are you even here, dude? So now I'm just taking the edges off, kind of rounding it off a little bit. Soften up those edges. Get that back circular a little bit. Ran out of heat. All right, I think we're going to go with that. So now on the next heat, we will start putting in the little nub in there, and we'll go from there. My anvil must be cold. I'm not retaining much heat on my piece.
Well, yeah, it is kind of cold out here.
If I would have been thinking, I would have heated up a bar of something and just laid it on the anvil and let the anvil soak in some of it. But I did not think to do that. But yeah, V for Vendetta. That was fun. Natalie Portman in that. Not Keira Knightley.
I honestly have no idea.
I love that they look so much alike that George Lucas pulled the old switcheroo on us during episode 1, where he got Keira Knightley to come in for like 1 day of shooting just so he could use her as a decoy. Which, if you think about it, if you've got 2 actresses that were both pretty popular at the time, that look pretty similar, like, why not, use that to your advantage? So the Joker 2 movie flopped so hard. Like, it was a $200 million budget. And I hate to think that a movie that makes $200 million is a flop, but I think I read just the other day that based off of like on demand pay per view and theaters, I think it just scratched making its money back. So I guess it made $0, But apparently it's coming to a streaming, like one of the streaming services in like the next week or two. And I, despite the fact, absolutely hated the first one. I'm gonna watch the second one because I want to see how insanely bad it is.
Set it up as a B movie night. Get all of our adult substances and spicy apple juice set up, and some food.
Yeah, grab some cigars and some bourbon, and just giggle and laugh through the whole thing. Heck, we got enough dogs. We could pop up some popcorn. When something happens we don't like, we can throw popcorn at the TV and then let the dogs clean it up.
Right.
They would be in heaven.
Yeah, like that'd be a great movie night for the dogs.
Yeah, just treat it like a Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I watched the Honest trailer for it the other day. And sadly, one of the scenes from the trailers, that was one of the most awkward, dumb things that I wanted to see because I wanted to laugh at it, apparently didn't make it to the final cut. It's just in the trailer. Like, well, that's disappointing. I wanted to see that awkwardness play out. But alas, we only get to see that scene from the trailer. Where'd I put my punch? So, something I'm always harping on here on the channel is have your tools ready so you don't come out of the fire and then you hold it for 20 minutes while you look for your hammer or your punch or your... Just keep that stuff handy. Speaking of keeping things handy, would someone be kind enough to conjure up the light remote? I meant to grab it before I came over here and I forgot. Thank you. I'm gonna let that cook for just a little bit longer so I can bring this down. I am washed out like crazy. Yeah, I think that's as good as we're gonna get at the moment. All right, let's do some of this stuff real quick. Imagine that on the blacksmith channel, we're gonna do some blacksmithing, not just talk about movies. All right, so now, beep boop. We are gonna take our ball fuller here and we're gonna punch it down just a little bit. Punch that down just a little bit. Ding. Now we're gonna, I don't know if I can do this just by myself without scooting it across the table. So now I'm gonna start punching at an angle to push that metal out. Now I'm running out of heat, so we're back into the fire. So yeah, back to this. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have to, like that anvil is sucking so much heat. Like I'm getting like 3 good swings before it goes black.
We still have the hammer in here.
Oh, the hammer block?
Yeah. Keep it toasty.
That it would, but that would make it real awkward for the part that I'm doing right now. So yeah, we'll just have to struggle and suffer for a little bit, and then
Next week we'll have it preheated.
yeah, we will definitely do some preheation. Somebody call up Urban Dictionary. I just invented a new word. But we'll definitely get it preheated.
Yeah, we can take your map gas torch and blast the face of it too.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. This is awkward doing this. Like usually I have another set of hands. So we're gonna just try and see if we can't get through it here. And I forgot to change my camera, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Oh, it bounced on me. That is not moving like I want it to. Which is just mildly frustrating. Alright. we're gonna get that just rip roaring like welding heat, so that metal will just squeeze on out. That way we have more heat to play with when it gets out there. And I think, Levi, if you'll be so kind, when it's time to do work, I might have you come over here and strike for me. Because I wonder if it's scooting across the anvil and it's not moving the metal the way I want it to.
I can do that.
Man, it got dark fast.
Right?
It makes for a pretty backdrop, though. On the screen, it's like a real pretty light up blue behind me.
Yeah, no, it's much brighter in the background than it is in real life.
Yeah, considerably. But it looks like there's fog over there in the corner of the yard. I don't know if it's
smoke.
Don't know if it's. Oh, I'm sorry, anybody that had headphones on. Like, that may have been really loud. All right, we're just gonna let that sit for a few more seconds. And Levi, we're just gonna do like, we're not gonna blast it, but we aren't, tapping.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Oop. Straight down, give me a hit. Beautiful. Now I'll go ahead and give it a hit. Keep going. Keep going. That's getting really, really hot. We're gonna straight down again. One more. I lied. One more. There we go. Now we're gonna push that out a little bit. Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Almost. Let's give it another heat. Thank you. I think I messed it up early. I didn't sanction off enough. But we will get it sorted out one way or the other. Is that you or me?
Have my headphones.
Oh.
They don't like not being on a head.
I mean, that is its natural habitat.
Mm-hmm. I need to replace those soon. They've seen better days.
You've been saying that for about a year or so.
Yeah. Normally I replace them every 2 years because that's when the warranty goes up, but I did not have the opportunity to get in before the warranty ended this time and get my replacement.
Oh, that's a kick into the jimmies. Yeah, you ready to do some stuff? I'm gonna give you much heads up on that one. All right, hit, 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 hit. One more. All right, now we're getting somewhere. All right, give me a hit. Yep, keep going. Yeah, one more. Oh, we're so close. Go ahead. All right. Let's go a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Give me one more of those. Clean that up. And we're going to just a little tappy tap. A little more. A little more. Yeah, there we go. Give me a decent, not a slam though. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Cool. Now, so we got that mostly. Oh, dang, I thought we switched that over. So anyways, we got that mostly to what we're going for, but we still got some lines in there and it's not super great. So we're going to do just one more heat and clean out some of those lines while that burns the heck out of my hand.
Isn't that called canishing or something like that?
Yeah. One of the things that you can do while it's still black is some planishing, because you're not going to move a lot of metal when it's black, but you can knock out some grooves. But with how cold the anvil is and how fast we're losing heat, we're going to do it hot just to make sure.
Makes sense. At least you don't have to worry about losing the temper on your tool.
This is true, which is something I am concerned about because it's a little bit oblonged over lots of use. It's not as round as it used to be.
Well, you know how to fix that.
I do. It's fun. Me and Paul were at his shop making stuff one time, and I'm making whatever, and he's making whatever, and I said, "Well, what are you working on next?" He had just finished a piece. They're like, "I don't know." And he sat down, he lit up his pipe, and he sat for a few minutes while I was working. He's like, "What kind of tools do you need?" I was like, "Having a nice ball fuller would be nice." He goes, "Cool." And then he spent like an hour and he made that for me. Like,
Nice.
heck yeah. Like, did the whole heat treat and grinding work, like, made it out real nice. Like, well, heck yeah. I've got one other tool that he made me, and I don't remember what that was. Oh, my center punch he made.
Yeah, didn't he do that the night that I was there? He made one, and then he's like, "Okay, we'll teach you how to do it."
No, that was an awl, is what you're thinking of. No, my center punch, he made it for me, and I used it to mark a skull I was working on, and I marked everything, set it down next to the tools I wanted to use, got my piece hot. I was chit chatting, pulled out the hot piece and put my center punch on it, and started shaping metal with my center punch.
Oh,
And I
no.
got the eyes carved out on both sides. I was like, cool, now I just need to fuller those. And I pulled out and I looked, and my center punch was just
no.
mangled. It's like, so when I was hanging out with Paul, I'm like, Paul, I did a dumb, and I set it down. He's like, what did you do to this? I'm like, I'm sorry. So then he fixed it for me while I was working on something else.
That's great.
All right. Boop. Oh, we got so dang close on that one. All right, so just like little tappy taps.
Okay.
And we're gonna be a little dynamic, just little tappy taps. Tappy tap, 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 stop. Ooh, that came out really nice. Give me a little tap there. And a little tap there. One more. Where are we at? Give me just a slight harder tap. There we go. Yeah, that's almost exactly what I was shooting for. Let's do one right there for good measure. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So as you guys can see, we got that nub pushed out there pretty nicely. It's all clean and nice and pretty. We got a little bit hot and started to get a little flaky in there, but that's all right. So we got that going for us. So now we'll just cut off the end and clean up the end, and we'll call that a done bottle opener. Thank you very much, Mr. Levi.
No problem.
I appreciate your assistance there. Get the old hot cut out.
Back to the dark for me.
Look, it's so dark. I'm standing over here in lights and stuff looking down, but usually you guys don't see this. Usually Levi's sitting just on the other side of the camera, and Brittany's here too, again, just on the other side of the camera, and I can see them normally. And like I make eye contact with them while I'm talking, because that's easier than staring at a camera pretending it's a human. But now it's completely dark on the other side of my lights, and I can see the glow of Levi's cell phone where he's watching the stream, and I can see the lights from the audio mixer. But other than that, I see lights and camera. It's still much brighter on the screen behind me than it is in real life. Got so busy with making the thing, I let my cigar die. While we let that heat up, let's do some plugs real quick so I don't forget. DB_Forge on the old Instagram. Coyote Iron Co. Instagram. From the Mold. On the YouTube, check out Sharp Bend Forge. And as always, custom blacksmithing in Atlanta, Indiana. Come out on a Thursday night and hang out. We'll make some stuff. It'll be cool. And then Daniel's Real Estate. Check him out if you're wanting to sell or buy some real estate here in Indiana. And then, of course, BrimstoneForge.us. Just sent out, was it last week? This week? We just sent out a new coffee scoop made out of copper and steel. Shipped that out to a guy in New York, I think is where we shipped one. So yeah, get yours today. Handmade by yours truly. I think we're going to cut that about there, I think. Really should have cleaned up my hot cut here, because that's not doing a great job. I got like a hot blunt over here. Probably going to take a couple of heats to get through this. Yeah, get that real good and hot. That's burning the heck out of my hand too. I have to make myself a forge mop one of these days. Curious if I should just grab a chisel and go through that with that instead. We'll try this one more time with the hot cut, and then we'll switch to the chisel. So yeah, hopefully get the shed soon. That'll be super exciting. So this will look all very different and hopefully better. We're gonna have to do a test to see if the Wi-Fi will reach the shop out there. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Like, what, 30 meters? That's about 100 feet, right?
Yeah. You'll also be in the Faraday cage, so.
Yeah. Fortunately, there's a window, so we can set it next to the window. The Wi-Fi hotspot dealie. I think it should be able to reach the house. I think it should be all right. Should be. Well, that's nice. All right, so now we're going to get that back in the heat. And I'm going to switch to tongs. And we'll clean up that edge. We'll put a nice long taper on it. And make it look all nice and stuff. That's a really in there. And I can't see, so that helps. That gas forge is really coming in handy as a toolbox. Maybe once I have the shed set up, maybe I'll finally go refill my propane tank and fire up the gas forge every once in a while. I mostly don't use it just simply because I prefer coal. So I bought a coal forge. Even though I got a gas forge for free, I still went out and bought a coal one because I just prefer coal. And that's, each one has its pros and cons, and suggest use whatever you're most comfortable with or prefer. I will say when I first started, though, I hated having to use coal forges. When I first started, I felt like I was being punished if I had to use one. Because gas is so much easier because you don't burn your steel as quickly or at all, depending on the forge. So basically now all I'm doing is cleaning up some of those cut lines. And I'm going to taper that down. I got really ragged on that cut. You always take a grinder to that and grind it off. Or chisel it off. Let's see if we can't work those rags out a little bit more. What time is it? It's about 10 after 6. So yeah, we'll clean this up a little bit. It's getting super dark out here and whatnot. And we're getting a weird halo effect on the screen. I wonder if it's that light.
Yeah.
I think it's the light.
Is it that one or?
Will you hold that just like that for a second? Yeah, it's 100% that light.
Well, I also turned the white light.
Yeah, no, the white light's not affecting anything. It's 100% this light that's doing it. So let's try that. Yeah, we're still getting one heck of a halo. That's okay. We're not going to work on this too much longer because it is getting super dark out here, and I'm sure Brittany is freezing over there. I'm not super happy with how this is turning out. So what I'm going to do here is, I hate that a simple bottle opener is going to turn into a 3-stream situation. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do, in the spirit of making things that look nice, I think what I'm going to do is, because again, it is super dark out here. What we're going to do is I'm going to redress my hot cut and then recut that. Maybe even take it to a grinder and clean that up a little bit before we do the final shaping stuff on the handle. I want to put a little bit of a curve on it. So yeah, with how dark it is, here we'll show where we're at currently with the bottle opener looks like. See if I can do this without burning myself. Boop. So yeah, that's the bottle opener part that we'll be working with. Then we just got to clean up that raggedy end there. But I just don't have what I need to do it. Partially, ironically, light is a problem. But yeah, I got to redress that hot cut. So I think what we're going to do is not freeze my crew because I'm the only one that gets stand by a hot fire or is currently standing by a hot fire. So we're going to go ahead and shut it down. We will be back next week, and hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks we'll be in a shed and it won't matter. So I think we're going to go ahead and shut down as I just ramble in circles. So you guys all have a wonderful night. Do you guys have anything you want to add or subtract? No? Cool. So quiet peanut gallery tonight. So visit BrimstoneForge.us. Check out the shop and the TikToks and all that stuff. And we're going to go ahead and shut it down. We will be back next week. Same Forge channel, same Forge time.